will be a part of this panel, and we chose them for different reasons. They were cute.
Some are better.
Which is always good. All right. So I'm going to give you a little bio. I'm going to have them come up 5 on 1. Our first speaker on this panel is Director Gillian. Gillian has been with Pampered Chef for 1 year and 10 months. It'll be 2 years for her in May. Okay. So we asked the question of every one of our panelists. Well, everyone's bio that we're reading is, the first question was, what made you want to start your Pampered Chef business? Gillian's answer was, I needed a less stressful job, preach. My past job, manager of a customer service department, God bless you, was taking a toll on me mentally and physically, and I had to change. Plus, I always thought it would be fun to be a consultant. I really love the products. How many can relate to that? Fun, products, yeah, right? The next question is, okay, we asked, what accomplishment are you most proud of with your Pampered Chef business? And Gillian's answer was, I earned my first incentive trip this past year. Cannot wait to go to Amelia Island. And her next thing is, what is your next goal with Pampered Chef? And that is build and strengthen her team while working towards an advanced directorship. So this is Gillian Layton. So welcome, thank you. All right, our next speaker is Fast Track Director April Rudman. She just celebrated her 1 year anniversary in February. And you know, what's interesting about April is she hosted shows every year for over 12 years with her consultant Doreen Zano. And she figured, what the hell, let's give it a shot, who knows, okay? And I'm quoting here, by the way. All right, she is most proud of how far she's come so quickly and is looking forward to the opportunities ahead with Pampered Chef. What she's really most excited about is that she earned the top level trip in 8 months. She's trying to get me on the bike and booze tour. And both of those words should be very dangerous to all of you in correlation with me. Bike and booze, no. Okay.
We'll pay tickets to watch it. Yes.
Yeah, she'll be having a good time with that. What is her next goal? Is she's looking forward to continuing to grow her team, and we're gonna give her a quick little shout out. In February, she recruited 5 people. Okay.
Wow.
January. I'm sorry, 5 people, but in about 1 month, she did like 5 literally in 1 week. Her team is massive. It's awesome. Wow. All right. So I really can't wait to help others find their personal gains that she has found. I never imagined when starting my business I would have grown as an individual so much. It's nice to feel something that she's doing for herself. All right. All right. Our next speaker is Charisse Hurd. I always say her name and think she should be tap dancing.
Why?
Am I the only one that's not old?
Yes.
Sid
Charisse, you're old.
Okay, I am old. All right, Charisse is a team leader. She has just celebrated her 2.5 anniversary with Pampered Chef. She was a host of mine forever and a day. Still here? Okay.
And yet I'm only 20.
I know, right? What made you want to start your Pampered Chef business? Flexibility to work my business around my family schedules. She's also the mother of scouts, and she's doing everything. I enjoy cooking and entertaining, plus I love the products. What is she most proud of? Learning to do virtual parties over 2 years ago, and now they are more than 50% of her business. They allow her to reach and share with more people near and far without having to leave her family. And her next goal is to become director by conference. So, all right. So our final speaker is advanced director Lisa Miller. And Lisa's the mom of 2 teenage boys who do every kind of sport, travel, hockey, and so on. She also works a full-time job as a paraprofessional. She's dedicated to her job, her family, and especially her business. All right, and she is most devoted to her team. Her family loves when she earns these trips, as they all work together as a team to achieve them. She's had her ups and downs, but always stays true to what is best for her and her Pampered Chef business. She loves her team and loves seeing people succeed. So So Advanced Director Lisa Miller. Now, here's what's going to happen here, guys. This is the panel. They've all got, they're going to have 3 questions in a round-robin fashion on different topics. Each one has a specific topic they're covering. So Ms. Miller is going to talk about longevity and maintaining a strong Pampered Chef business long-term. Obviously, she's been in the business over 14 years. She's a perfect candidate to talk about long-term business. All right. Gillian is going to talk about the importance of goal setting, which we've covered on quite a bit already this morning. You can't get anywhere. Like I would say about a goal, if you're driving somewhere but you don't know when you're going, how will you know when you arrive? Okay, so you need that map, and goals are your map. All right? April Rudman is going to be talking about and answering questions for you about seeing the big picture. This is her favorite phrase. She loves the phrase, seeing the big picture. And she's going to tell you the moment that it all really hit home for her and what made her realize the potential that Pampered Chef has. And I'm missing, Charisse. Oh, hello, still there. Okay. Charisse is going to talk about the importance of incorporating and learning to develop a virtual business because it will expand and broaden your current business to where, so it makes you so much even more flexible than the job already is. Okay? So my partner in crime over here will be asking 2 of the team their questions. And we're going to take turns. We're going to alternate. All right? So I'm going to start with
A picture.
I'm going to start with.
Everybody look at her.
Gotta love Laura.
Priorities.
Oh, for the love of God. Okay.
You'll
All
never
right.
hear if it's
So
not
I'm going to start. We're going to go in order as they're seated. So I'm going to start with April. Okay. And we are going to. No, you have April.
I have April.
Okay. So you're going to start with April.
Fighting over you.
Okay.
Who has April? Okay, I have April. Are we ready?
Yeah, you have to go with the answer. Now remember, guys, you've got like 5-6 minutes
This
each.
isn't going to extend over.
Let's unplug it. Let's rip off the tape.
I don't want to. Just a little one. Just a little one.
Well, they're already
It's
ready.
81.
You do it. You do it. Now it's stuck. Okay.
Stand between my toes.
All right, my first contestant is April Rudman. Okay, so I am going to ask you, so they're going to get 1 question each and then?
We rotate.
Okay, so here we go. So April, we know that you have hosted many Pampered Chef shows over the last 12 years. What made you finally decide to start your own Pampered Chef business?
I talk loud as it is. Can you guys hear me okay?
Well, now you're
Now you're
whispering.
whispering. Now you're whispering.
So listen,
I don't need this.
You
so
don't
that's
even
why
use
I
the
don't
phone
wanna-
to
I
call
don't-
me from Wallingford.
I don't So, yeah, of course, my now director, but my consultant at the time, every year for 12 years asked me to join her team. I had no interest. I just enjoyed the opportunity of getting friends together, having some laughs, learning some great tips. And of course, I loved getting my free products. And then I had, actually, for the last 6 of those years, I had 2 parties a year. And again, still, she would always ask me. I had no interest at all. When we had moved 2 years ago, I didn't have a party that year. And then last year, I was about to call her to book my party for the spring, my annual spring party. And I just said, I don't know, something hit me and just said, you know, what's the worst that happens? Like, I pay $100 because I got the starter kit. I didn't need everything else because I had all of it. And, you know, and I felt like I was in a good place for myself where I was ready for something for me. I've been a stay-at-home for 10 years, stay-at-home mom for over 10 years. I have 4 young kids. And I just finally was just like, you know what, let me just see what happens. The type of person I am is I'm not a, well, I kind of sort of feel like maybe I might want to see what happens. No, if I do something, I do it. Like, I put my all into it. I do everything and anything I need to do it. And then at least at the end of it, I know if it worked or didn't work, or that I got something out of it that I wanted to, or if I said, you know what, I did everything I could and it really wasn't for me. So, and that's what I did. You know, I booked myself solid for the first few months.
She did,
And it made-
what did she do, Dora? 12 shows her first month or something?
14 shows. She started in February,
Right.
or no, actually
And-
March.
Show
And
off.
from March to May, well, you joined in
February 8th I joined.
Right, and then
my
between
launch
the
party
March
was the
and
end of
May, she
February,
had like
and
14
then
shows. Wow.
yeah, for my first like 3 months I had like 14 to 16 each month. But
Right.
I mean,
Each month?
Did you hear? 14 to 16 each month.
And she has 4 young kids at home. Just like.
No, not each month. It was 14 shows from that, but within those.
No,
Oh, it was each month.
it was like 14 every
Because I
month,
had
right?
some days that I had multiple
Oh,
events.
that's true.
Yeah, right. Either way, I'm sorry. I mean, how many people would be thrilled?
I didn't know
In a
better.
2-month period, your new consultant did 16 shows. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to move on to Advanced Director Lisa Miller real quick here. So, Lisa, you've been with Pampered Chef how long?
Almost 14 years.
14 years, coming on 14 years. So what do you think is the most important thing for any consultant to do in their business to ensure a long, successful career?
Okay, well, I have a list of things. Cause,
Yeah, let's not go crazy,
What,
because
no, I know.
you
One of
went
the things
along.
I do not like to do is speak in front of people, so that's why I didn't want to really
Into
join.
the microphone.
Really want to join.
There you go.
So I did come up with things, and sometimes I get even tongue-tied still at my shows, and anyone can really do this job. You just have to have passion and love for what you do, and to be helping others is truly a passion that I do have. The one key factor that has remained throughout the whole theme of the I was going to say party, but the event that we have today is to keep learning. Friella mentioned that several times through today, and I just wanted to say that if you're not going to different things, which you should applaud yourself for coming and spending some really investment time here today is really, really key. I mean, I have loads of notes, so I just want to say I'm proud of all of you for coming. The PC University has so much to offer. There's resources for peer sharing where you can go and listen to some conversations of like workshops. That national conference is another thing. Yvonne's going to talk about that. The thing is to look for bookings when you have bookings. I always find that sometimes if your calendar is lean, and I will admit it's been lean lots of times through the years, is just to keep looking and just keep looking and looking. And do it when it works for you. Like if you're waiting for someone to get out of their sport event, or just plug the time in. Like on Sundays, I really truly look at my calendar, and I notice when I don't do it, things don't happen. And that really aggravates me. So what I try to tell my team, and I have a couple of little buddies that we go and work out with, we really make it accountability when we really get and put our mind to it, that we go and do it. We set ourselves for the classes, and so I try to treat my personal business with my Pampered Chef business and scheduling time to look for those things. The mission statement, if you haven't read that lately, you definitely need to do that. And the self-talk, the belief that Amanda had said, I want to just read one quote if I can read it. I don't have cheaters. There are many people out there who will tell you that you can't, that you can't. What you got to do is turn around and say, watch me. And that came from my friend Yvonne Thompson. And there's lots of other things, like customer care is the hugest part and the most pivotal part to keeping yourself in the business. Is when you are helping someone, it is so different than walking to Walmart or some other place. And we're not the perfect chef. We're just the Pampered Chef.
Perfect. That's great. Okay. You?
Sure.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you have Gillian.
No, you have Gillian.
I have Gillian?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. I have Gillian. Okay. I did not know that. And I've got 2 microphones. How greedy am I? I know, right? I swear. Okay, Gillian, my darling. You're not even on my team, and I couldn't be more proud of you. I'm so excited for you. All right. So tell me the truth, Gillian, and share with everybody. Do you truly believe that setting goals is an important part of running a successful business? Oh, perfect. There you go.
Definitely. Setting goals is super important because depending on what you're doing, I actually set goals for my life, so not necessarily just for Pampered Chef, because if you want to lose weight, I have goals for that. If I want to pay off debt, I have goals for that, because you really need to be motivated by it. You all know the quotes are all out there. If you don't actually write it down, you're not going to do it. But definitely goals are super huge. But the biggest thing though with the goals is realizing that they can't define you. So if you do fail, that's fine. We all fail. I failed so many times, but you need to not stay down in that area, and you need to realize that what are you going to take and learn from that failure so that you can continue to move forward. because I am in that lead program, and I did not get the requirements for this first month, and I had to take 2 passes. So, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing so terrible. But honestly, it was the best month for my entire team. They were working and going together, so it was the best overall. Yes, I personally failed in one area, but I'm learning from that and going to continue to be intentional and just keep asking people about the business opportunity and about booking and just being intentional
So
is the
what do you,
hugest thing.
so basically, you're saying to set a goal for anything, any part of your life. You said you do it in your personal life. I didn't know there was another life besides Pampered Chef. Am I the only one? I mean, you don't all eat, breathe, and sleep Pampered Chef? I mean, I have dreams.
We're all slackers.
I know, right? That's awesome. So the goal is the most important thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely with the goals, because if you need to have a focus. If you don't have a focus, you're
have to
not
know
going to
where
go anywhere. So, yeah.
Good, I love that. Okay, you've got my Charisse.
Thank you, my love.
Your mouth, really? Uh-huh, okay.
All right, Miss Charisse over here. So you're talking about virtual parties. So how important are virtual parties to helping to build a Pampered Chef business?
Well, I will say that, like I said, it's half my business right now. It's it's expanded your. I mean, I live in Connecticut, but I have customers now. I've held parties, like 5 of them in Florida. I have a whole series going on up in Binghamton, New York right now. I've got probably, started with 1, no, 2, I have 10, sorry. I'm just like, I've been doing a lot of South Dakota. It really likes to expand, outside your area. I'm not leaving my house. I've been, I can do 2 or 3 at a time. It helps you with, there's a whole variety of people that don't even want people in their house. So this lets you access them. It lets them be hosts, lets them get the free stuff. I do now once a month from my VIP group, I do once a month a virtual party for them. So a lot of my customers don't want to host. They just want to buy. So why not give them an opportunity to be a host without hosting? So I do, and it's I get $300 to $400 a month. It's a mystery host party, sorry. So once a month, mystery host in my VIP group for those that don't want to buy, that don't want to host at all. They don't want to even deal with it. But they buy. They definitely buy.
That's a great idea. Did you guys write that down?
Yeah, and it's a guaranteed green by 15 because I usually do it around the first or second week of the month.
Okay, that was worth the price of my admission. Okay?
That was wonderful.
I'm gonna kiss you.
Oh, but it's true.
Oh, I can't wait for the kisses.
It's very true.
Who didn't hear it?
Yeah, repeat it.
Okay, sorry. In my VIP group, which I advertise and ask people to join it all the time. At my cooking shows, at my virtual parties, they get extra points if they join my VIP group. So once a month, usually within the first 2 weeks, so like either the first week of the month or second week of the month, somewhere before the 15th, run a virtual party. And I theme it. Do a theme, something different, and make it a mystery host party just for those people in your VIP group. Because those people already love Pampered Chef, and they want to buy. They already know me. Some have hosted before, some haven't. But that guarantees them a time to earn to be the host without hosting.
So you set up an event for that, a private Facebook event?
An event in my VIP group.
Oh, in your group?
Right.
Okay.
You have to be a member of the group because the
You're
event
not
is
setting up
in.
a separate Facebook event and inviting them?
Right, no. It's an event in my VIP group.
Okay.
So in your group, you can create an event.
Yep.
And it'll automatically invite everybody in that group. All right, and then I just do a theme. Like the first month was, of course, healthy for the New Year's resolutions kind of thing, healthy, fit. Last month was freezer meals. So I was able to share about freezer meals without actually doing them.
Oh, that's even better.
All right, awesome.
Gillian. Right. Well, I put it in. I have a guest that's in my contacts as her name is Mystery Host. And has my
Create
phone
a
number.
customer called mystery host,
Yeah.
so that way when you do pick a winner, you can quickly edit it. You can't put it in as consultant acting as host.
Yeah.
Because then you cannot change it to the actual host name with her address.
And because I have customers from all over the country now, it's one winner. I don't divide up the stuff. I don't have to divide up the host stuff. It's one winner and done. So
12
that,
chances to win if you do it once a month.
right, if you buy, something once a month, you're in it. And it's the names of the people that can win the mystery host are only people that buy. So when they buy, their order is set, they can't change their order, and then they just can buy more, basically. So I just changed their order. I either put, this is a little different, so sometimes my hosts that win are past hosts. So I might leave their original order the way it is, because it's got the 10% off. And then I put the mystery host under their husband, or their son, or their dog, or whatever.
We could figure out the
So-
logistics of that.
Right,
Just do
so
it
just-
and then ask your
just-
director to figure
yeah.
out the logistics computer-wise.
Right, and Charisse loves to get emails.
All right, let's
I
move
think
right
it
along.
was worth her whole 5-7 minutes just for that, so we
Yeah.
did not have to hear from her again.
And what we'll do is we're going to take
She just
questions
got
more
moved
at
up
the
to
end.
speed dial.
Right,
Oh,
Priya,
she's
we'll take
already
more
there.
questions at the end.
Yeah, we'll take all the questions at the end, guy, just because I want to stay on our time frame here. so.
Okay, so back to April seeing the big picture. So April, my dear, when did you truly get the big picture of how much Pampered Chef had to offer and what it could do for someone?
That would be after conference last August. Go. If you haven't gone, and I went in my first year. So, I mean, I joined February. I think they started talking about it in April on our team. I booked my flight. I didn't know what I had to go to, really. I mean, they told me it's amazing, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, but like I said before, when I'm in something, I'm in it. And I knew that, like, conference was a part of the business, and I was going to get the full experience. And I went to conference. But life-changing for me, and I don't say business-changing, I say life-changing, because I don't think of my business as just my business. I think about my business as part of my life, and they're intricate. So, like, my goal this year is me, and getting me to a place where I want to be health-wise and energy-wise. That's going to relate to my business. So my goal this year is not a business goal, because I know that's going to relate. But at conference, it was life-changing for me to hear all these people get on stage and talk about, they weren't talking about selling all the time. They weren't talking about hosts all the time. They were talking about how personally the business has changed their lives. I mean, even like I was on Facebook the other day in one of the groups, I forgot which group, and there was a girl that commented on there, and it breaks my heart when I say it, but like she was in a really bad relationship. She had a 5-year-old, I think she said, and a few-month-old. They were living on her mother's couch. She took her tax return, bought her kit, and I don't know how many years ago this was. And she said she's been on multiple trips with the company since then, and she just bought her first house. That's life-changing. That's amazing. This poor girl, who knows where she would have been had she not had the flexibility of the opportunity. So for me, that was just like a little story of like how many people really spoke about that. So for me, conference was life-changing, business-changing. That was the big picture.
And I mean, and how many of you, I know I have a lot of amazing,
It's not going to go any farther.
I have a lot of amazing friends in this business, and we can all tell a story of how Pampered Chef has changed our lives. I mean, whether you're getting, you're divorcing Darth Vader and you need to start your life on your own, whether you, so we all have, when, those of you who know my husband, when he got seriously ill, we would have lost everything if I didn't ramp up and do 10 shows a week. And that's what I was doing. And he became Mr. Mom till he was well enough to go back to work. So it really can affect so many parts. I mean, it can really save some families. It truly, truly can. And I love that that's what affected her at conference, with hearing these stories and reading and seeing, like, oh, wow, this system truly can be, whatever capacity. It doesn't have to be like where you need to make the money to buy a new house or get off your mother's couch, which you could talk to my children about that if you don't mind, all right? But no, seriously, though, you really, I love that. When she told me that that's what really did it for her at conference, and then she was just Zooming after that anyways and decided to earn the trip in a month. Okay, I'm moving back to Mrs. Miller over here, okay? True or false, Lisa? Is consistency, do you feel consistency is an important part of building a long-term and successful business?
True.
Okay, tell me how.
Well, if you love the business as much as you plan to have whatever you want for your business. She didn't give me any of these questions.
That was a question.
No, I know. Yeah, so I forgot it.
How important do you think? How important do you think being consistent in your business will help you build a long-term successful business?
Whether you want to be hobbyist or part-time, full-time, you know that flyer that floats around. I've been every single apron there can possibly be. I've been that apron probably twice in one day. That's just how the Pampered Chef rolls with the roller coaster. But when you decide to stay in it and win it, it's whatever you want to make it. And it's important, I think, for customers to see you professional and have a good business sense of knowing how you want to just handle things. And just doing 1 to 2 shows a month is perfect if that's what works for you. And I try to remind that to my team and just stay consistent to what works for you. And if you want to relook at your goals, then we can relook at your goals. And I think.
And do you think it's always good to reevaluate your goals?
Absolutely. I try to reevaluate my goals every quarter.
And how do you feel about the importance of working your business on a daily basis? We talk about that all the time, about the power hour or the 15 minutes, you know.
I have that as scheduled time, I think, in pockets of time for we're all busy, but we can make excuses if we choose to. And there is always time for your business, whether you find yourself at 2 a.m. with Jamie being up at night, or you can, because you can schedule things too. Or have things half done and then you can draft it and just send it later. I work a business before school, during lunch, and after school, or between the hockey breaks of like when the ice is clearing.
So the importance is to touch your business every single day.
Every day of something. Just
and
so
not just by going out to the live show, right? You're saying every day work your business in some capacity.
Well, customer service or any type of part of it, or like even taking a training if you're looking to lose weight or get healthy, have the headphones on or however you do it, and listen to one of the peer sharings on PC University or Coffee Talk.
While
Fantastic.
you're working out. Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
all
I
the
love
time.
that. Great.
All the time.
Awesome. Okay. I love that. You know, the key words. You know, work it every day, build relationships, make connections. Mayor. What?
Get out!
They'll
get out for the price of admission for that.
It has finally happened. I'm speechless. Mayor, are you serious, man?
She'll get over it.
Oh, okay. There was a question by somebody at the table.
Oh, not from her, right?
No.
Okay. Go on Facebook, guys. Join Coffee
They
Talk.
can't join it.
Yeah, you can't.
Their director or the person, someone else they know in the group has to.
Okay, find, those of you who asked that question, find somebody, most of us, if not all of us, are on Coffee Talk, will add you.
Yes.
And it's every Saturday morning from 9 to 9:30, and we get the top people, like Claudia just did an amazing training on Coffee Talk, Christina, oh yeah, this one behind me, yeah, so I'm coming up, God help you all, okay, so it's amazing, the best half-hour trainings you'll ever get, they're phenomenal.
Violence.
Yeah, right, and what's really great about the Coffee Talk too, guys, we play them at our meetings now, like my directors, my consultants, they'll say, oh my God, I just heard the most amazing one, and it's only a 15-minute training, we just replay it back at the team meetings to make sure everybody hears them. So find somebody, they're probably on it, we'll add
Kimberly.
You know, a lot of people say Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock is not necessarily a good time, so it's important that you know that there are callback numbers, you can go back and listen to them.
Thank you, perfect.
We're up at 2 in the morning, with whoever it was.
Me.
Yeah, and me, always, okay?
Yeah, Gillian's up.
All right, Gillian, you're up next, sweetheart. You're, you just earned Amelia Island, yay, get the bikini out. Do you so tell us the truth though, do you think you would have earned that trip had you not set that as a goal?
No, not at all. Because it really made me more focused on my business together and just realizing that it is actually possible to earn a trip in your first year. Because I just saw that really big goal. It was like, at that point I wasn't a director, so I needed 52 something to get it. And I was like, all right, what I have to do to actually get the goal is you have to break it down. Like, if you don't break it down, like, I know your directors probably tell you this all the time, but you have to make it something attainable, because if it's not attainable, you are like, yep, nope, not gonna happen. And you, like Amanda was saying, it's your mindset. You really have to make it a mindset that you can do it. So I took that number, broke it down into 12. Then I broke that number down into specific, like whatever that amount of points was, and then I broke that number down and was like, all right, so realistic for me at that point was like 4 shows. Okay, what do I have to do for 4 shows? How much sales do I have to get? And then my director was like, well, you know, if you recruit, you can like actually knock that down a little bit. So I set a bold goal and was like, all right, I'm gonna try for 6 recruits and then knock that down with the points and all of that or whatever, but really, like, you have to break it down, and I do that for even, like, my own cooking shows, like, for each month for sales, I want to hit a certain level, so I'm like, okay, I want to do 8 shows, I need, you know, break it down all the way, you know, so if you have to, you know, okay, try to figure out the sales for your, you know, guests, not that you know exactly how much, but, you know, you need this many guests to get about this many show, you know, sales. So it's a really numbers game the whole way.
And that's the key. It is a numbers game, but it's like that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Mm-hmm. And it's really, it's like, so you break it. I love what she did. She broke it step by step. What does my show average need to be? How many shows do I need to do at this show average? And her director said, of course, 3,000 points for every qualified recruit, and your numbers go down because of your director. So you're looking at the big picture again. See how it all ties? So that's what's really important. Okay, you got Charisse.
Told you I was going to get you good speakers.
Please, all the credit is you.
No, just mine too. Okay, Charisse. No, I'm saying I got you 2 good speakers. You think my team Oh yeah, poor Claudia. Okay, we're gonna get her off that. Okay. All right, Charisse.
She hasn't even eaten her lunch yet. She's so nervous.
Can you share how a new or a more seasoned consultant can start to build a virtual Pampered Chef business?
Well, it's much easier now with the virtual packs.
Yes.
And if you haven't done training for that, you must do that now. Because I learned 2 years ago, and I have built everything myself. Definitely do all the training on PC University, do the experience training, get the virtual packs. And then I started out with a couple friends. I said, I want to try this new thing. Would you be interested? Or any of those hosts that have never said, I don't want anybody in my house, or those, I don't want, you know, I don't want to go shopping. I don't want whatever. I don't like to entertain. You know, they're a homebody. Say, hey, you know, if you know that they're on Facebook already, you know, you can stalk Facebook, you know. See who's out there. Just see, you know, the people that you know that like Pampered Chef but don't really want to host. Ask them. Just come out and ask them. And then ask them to invite people that you don't know. All right? They probably have 200 or 300 friends. You don't want that many in your group. That's a whole other story. But invite the people that like to cook, you know, that kind of thing. And then just keep expanding. Make sure that during that first party, you're telling those friends to invite their friends. All right? So you're expanded it 2 or 3 times. So maybe you've got like 60 people you're contacting that you've never talked to before. The other way is kind of, I do groups. There's a whole discussion on that. But anyways, something I just did, and I got the idea. You know, instead of just asking for catalogs, this time I followed Christina Maniscalco's idea of making a Google form, and so they had to complete that to get their catalog. And I asked about having a party, about doing fundraisers, virtuals, cooking, all that stuff, you know. But I went back into my groups from the last year, from all of 2017, and posted that there was a new catalog out. Did they want one? 5 people responded that never participated in the parties, never ordered anything. They were not on my radar whatsoever. 4 out of those 5 either want to have a fundraiser, a cooking show, or a virtual party. I did this, I posted in those parties while I was waiting for my boys at the dentist. So, it's out there. You just got to keep looking for it, and just keep putting yourself out there. But the first time I started one, was with a friend that I knew could not have a party at her house. And I just said to her, would you do this for me? And it has snowballed like I said, I go across the country now with parties every week.
Awesome. All right, we'll wrap it up with the final question. So you got April, honey, right?
Yeah, I have two questions. No. Okay. So April, when did you realize that building your team was a key factor in your business and why?
I think like when I first decided on a whim to just see what happened with this thing called being a consultant, I don't think I had any interest at all in building my team. I don't think we talked about it, but I didn't really think about it. And then I think it was at my launch party at my house that is the first person that I actually talked to about recruiting. I don't like to say that word either. I actually just say joining my team or joining the team or people on my team or team members. I'm the same way. I just feel like it's homier, more inclusive rather than a hierarchy. I'm not anybody's boss. I don't want to feel like I'm above, like in that kind of way. I just want to share. That's just my thing. She was excited. She was excited about the product. She was excited about the party. She was a friend that my husband worked with at the firehouse. Someone my husband works with at the firehouse's wife. And I talked to her about it a couple days later, and then she thought about it, and then she was like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Okay." Like this was like 2 weeks in or something like that. And then I set up a virtual party with my first virtual, which I had no idea what I was doing except for Charisse's wonderful team training that we had done a couple weeks prior. And she lives in Florida, and she was my host. And one of the people on the party that lives in New Hampshire was super active, involved, super excited about the products, loves the products already. She had a lot at home. And then I was like, oh, okay, wait, maybe I can maybe I can do this. They were excited about the opportunity of products and about the party, and then I was excited for them, and then I was like, why not share that with them? And so I did, so those were my first 3 recruits in my first, whatever that was at that time, month or something like that, month and a half or whatever it was timing-wise. So, and then like I said, it was after conference that I really understood the potential of sharing the opportunity and the whole mindset, for me. And then, that's kind of like my deal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
We love your deal.
I love your deal. Okay, Lisa. To finish up, this is really important too, and I want you to think about it for about a half a second. That's all I'm giving you. What tip would you give to new and seasoned consultants, okay, to help them look into the future of their Pampered Chef business? So what I mean by new is brand new. What I mean by seasoned, a year or more into the business, okay? What tip can you give them to help them find a focus and to look forward and ahead? What should they be doing? You already said they should be learning as much as they can, attending meetings, but what if you told somebody, like somebody said to you, how can I still be doing this business 20 years from now? What would your tip be?
All right. What comes to my mind instantaneously is go to a team meeting, partner up with somebody who has a similar goal as you. There are so many wonderful consultants out here that are willing to help. We just added someone in hospitality. She's one of Tish Jones' people to our team page. So, Amber. So you just reach out to people, I think is huge. Virtually, it just brings us really so amazingly to connect together, and that's really what the business is all about. My motto is TEAM, and that's together, everyone achieves more. And I feel that wholeheartedly with the Yan organization. We try very hard to help each other rise above, and failing forward is one of my key things. And doing it scared, Sue Moulton taught me that in the LEAD program. And I'm a big quote affirmation person, so the team knows all about that. And Michael Reeves says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best consultant of them all? And the team has to look in the mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most best consultant of them all, or whatever you want to say, who's going to be booking and I'm cooking. My business is cooking. I love that. That's a new one for me. So I hope that helps.
That's great. That's great. Awesome. Okay, Jilly girl. Okay, so.
I know. Ixnay on the Jilly girl thing.
No,
She doesn't
no,
like it.
it's not flying.
It's like calling you Friller.
Fudge.
Just call her Fudge or
That's what they call me. I'm Fudge. Yes. All right, Gillian.
Jillian,
All right, can you, this is really important now, all joking aside. Okay, can you share one tip to make somebody become a goal setter? What do you have to do to actually become a goal setter?
You actually just need to do it.
Okay. And we're done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Last question for sure.
Yeah. But no, seriously, just
Yeah,
do it.
you have to actually write something down and share it with somebody. Maybe your director or your spouse or whoever, someone that's going to help you keep you accountable. Because I don't like failing at things, but I do know that if you fail at it, then you're going to get better. And that's how goals work. You have to set them, and you're going to stumble and fail, but it's okay. But you just can't stay down there. You just have
It's
to
okay
keep
to,
rising
look at our
above
posters.
and going higher.
Mistakes are proof that you're trying. No excuses. See what I'm saying? So this is exactly what this panel has been saying to you as well. Just do it. Just do it. So we have the final question going to Mrs. Hurd.
Yes, Hi. Charisse, here is the magic question. Is it true or myth that virtual parties are much easier than a live cooking show?
That's real.
That would be dependent on the consultant, but it really is. They're two different animals, and if you're kind of set in your way and you do one thing, adding this can be hard. Frielle did it. Don't ask me how, but she did it.
I didn't
No,
see that.
it takes, there's a learning curve to it, but it's not easier, because there's still host coaching, there's still customer care. That doesn't change, that's all the same. Host coaching is just different. I still do it, touching base with the host beforehand, and, but, depending on whether you do an hour show or 5-day show, whatever, they're just different, and you gotta make sure that you stick with your host coaching, stick with, talking to people. It's just a different way of doing it when you're virtual, but you still have to make sure that you're having that personal contact with each person, whether it's commenting on their post. I believe a lot of my virtual parties, I do a lot with engagement. And getting people to kind of open up. I ask them what their dinner time dilemma is, and I give them like 3 options, so they don't have to give me an answer, they just have to pick one of them. I ask them, how many times a week do you eat out? And I do it and I ask them what their cooking style is, and I try to make it fun, like I'm a gift person. If you've ever seen my posts on Facebook, I'm a gift person. A lot of times I won't comment, but I'll make a gif out of it. And people love those. They like just picking really something quick and easy. But it lets you inside to kind of get to know them, and then once you've had either a conversation started or they placed an order or something, then you can start that conversation and say, well, I see that you eat out a lot. Why is that? Do you just not like to cook, or just too busy to cook, or whatever? You're running from one sport to the other, or kids' activity. But that's the way of getting that personal contact. Because, like I said, that's not any different than it is a cooking show. A cooking show, you're talking to them in person, getting to know them in that little block of time that you're there. Virtual is just a little bit different, but you still have to do that.
It's still a lot of work, guys. You're still making connections, you're building relationships, you're answering a lot of questions. You just happen to be doing it on the computer instead of face-to-face at a show. But how many of you have had shows and there are 100 questions coming at you before, during, and after the show? Okay, I'm sorry, on a virtual, I ain't got time for that. I'm like all day long, I just find it easier talking to my host 3 or 4 times on the phone, talking to her, and going and doing my show, just constantly checking and replying. No. So I don't know, it's a lot, but you're doing the same things though. You're building the relationships, right, Charisse? You're answering those questions, you're getting them engaged, but it's a lot of work. I'd rather go out and do a live show, because who would not want to see this?
Especially now. Especially now.
Especially now. Thank you. I was the dog before. I appreciate that. All right.
You can't win no matter what
Can
you
we
say.
give the panel a big round of applause? And you guys have to understand, for most of them, not Lisa, because Lisa's actually spoken at National, but for our other three consultants, this is their really first time doing a training of this size. So I'm very proud of all of you. You guys did a beautiful job. Thank you from all of us, correct?
Yep.
All right, so take your care.